Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. In today's video we'll be looking at the most chaotic and up and down race of my entire career. But of course, the race starts off with a qualifying. So let me take you a lap around the Thije Assen Junior circuit. So here we are for a hot lap around the beautiful Thije Junior circuit in Assen. It starts off with two fast corners to the right into a small little straight. This straight has quite a bit of overtaking opportunities and it goes into a slow corner to the right, leading up to a small straight where there's barely any room to overtake and immediately having a corner right after it. Going on to a straight, and this is probably the longest straight on this track where you reach a top speed of around 105 kilometers per hour. Then we go into a fast corner to the right where there's barely any room. Then we go to another fast corner to the right, which is actually very difficult. This leads on to a corner to the left where we have like some room to breathe, into two fast corners to the left, into a small or like a slow corner to the right, goes into a chicane and back onto the straight. And this was a hot lap around the Thije Assen Junior track. Even though the lap didn't look quite bad, we qualified around the 15th position. And I would say the entire field was quite close to each other, considering top 16 was actually within a second. Which was actually quite surprising, so to say, considering the qualifying pace of everyone was quite good. During the qualifying it was also quite hard to keep the tires around the optimum temperature, considering like it was quite hot outside and we started off with quite a high tire temperature, so the tires were like quite high tire pressure and the tires would skyrocket in the temperature, and it was quite noticeable during the qualifying, so it was starting to slide quite a bit and harder to actually keep on the track. Also during braking it wasn't the nicest thing, so to say, but either way not too bad, and we started around the inside of the corner for the first race, so that's good, so to say. So let's see how the first race of the day will go. So here we are lining up for the first race of the day, starting around the 15th position, getting right in between the white lines and waiting until the lights go out, which they do now, and we get an absolutely bad start, which actually we also managed to get right in between number 272, also going slightly over the grass, compromising our exit speed here. Also slightly outbraking ourselves with the Kart going around. Even the 269 is able to overtake us here due to that. We also tried to go around the outside of the number 269, but he just cuts us off, which makes it so we can't at least pull off that move. But it doesn't matter either way, considering we are going right up the straight right behind him. And we're going to see if we can pull off a move right here in this corner, which we actually managed to do, diving very late and going very late onto the brakes. Also managing to keep it onto the track, very surprising. So I felt like I was going to fly off the track. Now we see that we're driving behind the 286, trying to see if we can pull off a move here, which we actually can't do. See that the number 272 is going quite wide and also having quite a bad exit, seeing if we can go down the inside. Really trying to go for it, but we can't. Yeah, that's just very unfortunate. Even though I saw the gap opening, it's closed very quickly in front of my face, and just this is the consequence of it. But yeah, it happens in racing. Let's see if we can recover from it. As you can see, we managed to catch right back up to the group again, driving behind the number 270. Here we are going to quite a slow corner into the left, really getting close to his rear bumper. And we are really trying to focus on a point of where we can overtake him, which I know is into the next corner, two corners to the right. Here we are trying to line up very close to him, and here we know we can go for the overtake, so we dive right into the inside and get two positions actually, considering one go-kart went very wide there. And now we are trying to catch up to number 277. And here we are quite close, thinking about pulling off a move, but I felt like I couldn't at this moment. But he outbraked himself slightly and I actually managed to take advantage of that and I would take him around the inside. And to be honest, I never thought that I could pull off that move there. It was just very unexpected and I anticipated to him going slightly wide. But yeah, unfortunately the struggles he's been having is something we will also have, because we are over pushing the kart too much. We're generating too much heat into the tires, which will actually make it way harder to brake properly. And this is something we'll see right now, as I try to go down the inside, severely outbraking myself, going onto the tire marbles, going even wider and onto the grass, losing all of the positions that I've been able to overtake. And this is just due to me over pushing the kart way too much and generating way too much heat in the back, which actually makes it so when you go onto the brakes, the rear just slides and you don't really have any grip at the rear. So yeah, that's very unfortunate and something I actually learned by making this specific mistake. Well, now you could be asking to yourself, why am I showing you this? Well, I'm showing you this just to make you guys realize that Throughout mistakes, improvements are made, and you can't improve without making those mistakes. So you really have to go through the entire learning process, and that's what I'm trying to show to you guys, to what I'm experiencing and how I improve from it. We also found out that the go-kart actually had a setup that wasn't optimal for managing those tire temperatures. We actually did something to make it bounce less, which actually did something to make the tire temperature go higher up. So this is something we also changed for the next race. So let's look at the second race. Here we are for the second race of the day. Lining up in between the white lines, waiting until the red lights go out, which it does. Now getting quite a decent start. Trying to stay behind the number 270, seeing someone go around the outside, but we try to remain on the inside, make sure we defend off the inside. And we try to go down the outside this time, because there's quite a bit of chaos on the inside, nearly avoiding a go-kart, one go-kart going onto the grass, and we managed to stay out of all of the chaos. Here we try to go down the inside of another go-kart, but we try to not make the move stick and actually get behind him, which we actually also lose quite a bit of time because of. Now here we are trying to line up behind the number 277, seeing if we can do a move down on the 269, but we can't. And the 269 defends the inside of the corner, so we can't manage to make that move. And now we are trying to follow up the 269 closely to see if we can do a move further ahead. So here we are further ahead, seeing if we can line up 269, which we do, and we go down the inside, manage to overtake him and line up right behind the number 277. Trying to see if we can try to stay close to him on this sector, but considering we overtook one, we don't really have the overspeed to do it at this point. Here we are at the same corner again, seeing if we can make a move down the inside, which we do again on the number 277, barely hitting the number 272, which actually we are getting even closer and closer to by each step. You can even see the 272 sliding here. That's due to the go-kart having the aluminium rims, which actually build up quite a bit of heat, and with this temperature that we had at this day, was not the easiest thing to make the temperature go down. And especially with aluminum rims, it makes the tire temperature really hard to manage. So even in this corner you can really see him sliding all around, just because of the temperature that's in the tires, which is just too much. And we actually have magnesium rims, which actually makes it a lot easier to actually manage those tire temperatures. So here you can see us driving very closely behind the number 272, seeing if we can do the same move, which we've done all those times here, which we actually managed to do by going fully down the inside. Quite a late move and making it stick perfectly. And now we're trying to move up further to the field. So here we are behind the number 1 and the number 204, which have been battling the entire time. Here we can see the number 1 trying to do a move on the number 204 on the inside of the first corner, and he actually managed to go down the inside. Here we can see the number 204 trying a switchback on him, go down the inside of number 204, while the number 1 goes around the outside. So here you can see me lining up behind the number 1 and seeing if we can pull a move into this corner, which isn't possible at all, because the move making a move in this corner is actually quite hard to do. So here we can see the number 1 pulling slightly away due to that, and you can also see that actually it's the end of the race, because we didn't manage to overtake the number 1 here. But either way, a very good recovery drive nonetheless, going all the way from P18 back to P8 without getting any accidents. So yeah, great improvement, so to say. So yeah, not a bad race at all. This means we're going to be able to start the race from P8. But before we could even enter the paddock, we actually had to fix the entire bumper, because the bumper actually had a small crack at the bottom, which means that we can't use the bumper for the race. So me and Dad actually had to not fix the bumper, but get a completely new bumper right before the race. So that was quite chaotic, but either way, we managed to put a new bumper on it. But something completely unexpected happened in the third race and actually cost me the entire bumper, which we're going to see right now. So here we are lining up for the third race of the day, starting off behind the number 281 in position 8, trying to make sure to stay close to him before the lights go out, which I actually managed to do, and the lights go out now. So we try to stay around the outside, trying to see if we can avoid any chaos. We can actually quite a bit going on. The 222 is actually getting towed off the track, and now we're right behind the number 1 in the 5th position. So we gained 3 positions amidst all the chaos. So here we are trying to stay close to the number 1, which we managed to do through the corner to the left. And you can actually see him pull away slightly, because he has a different gear ratio than we actually have. But in this corner we actually managed to get a bit closer, but actually lose it, because we go a bit too wide. which is not ideal, but that's mainly due to me just pushing a bit harder, even though the tires are on the colder side, because you don't really have the front grip that you would normally have, because the tires have to get a bit up the temperature. So we were actually starting on a lower tire temperature, like tire pressure actually, than normal, which we actually changed right before the race. But yeah, here we can see that the number 1 is pulling away quite a bit already, and I'm just struggling at this point just to try to get the tires up to temperature, at least up to the pressures, so I can at least get some grip back. But they're starting to battle already, which actually is quite convenient for me, because I'm actually able to pull a bit close to the number 1 in this case. And we are actually getting quite close within a couple of tenths. But yeah, here they pull away slightly because they have a different gear ratio and get a higher top speed. But through this sector I actually managed to get a bit more closer, so the grip we actually have is built up. But here we can see someone pushing us on the back, actually taking off our entire front wing, which is the number 208. And he took our entire front bumper off. And at this point I actually continued driving without the front bumper, even though it wasn't allowed, which I didn't know initially, because I've also seen people continue to drive without the front bumper. But yeah, this is just very unfortunate, and I just didn't know at the point. I was just completely focused on not losing any time, because it was actually quite difficult driving without the front bumper due to the entire front pressure just being not there, because it causes a lot of understeer, I can tell you. But yeah, just very unfortunate. This means that my third race just got completely thrown away, just as our front bumper got thrown away, because it was the 30 minutes new front bumper, and that's just a wasted 80 euros. Yeah, that's very unfortunate, but it happens, and hopefully it doesn't happen again to a new bumper that I've got after this incident. Well, as you can see, a very up and down chaotic race that I've had, with quite a bit of bad luck combined into it. Well, at least I'm happy that I've learned from it. I hope you guys learned something too. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Never get old.